This is the welcome video for IH2 The Common Good, taught by me, Dr. Kim. And I just want to give you a rough overview of the kinds of conversations that we're going to have this semester. Some of you may be on the fence. You might be the type of person who will get into a class, see if you like it, and then decide you don't like it and then drop the class. Well, I do want to help you make that decision by giving you a good idea of the kinds of conversations that we're going to have this semester. And the reason why I do this is because I believe that your most valuable resource is your time, because once you run out of time, well, then you're out of time. You can't get any more. You can't extend it. Once it's over, it's over. And of course, I'm talking about dying. So to spend an entire semester in a class that you don't enjoy, where you're not learning anything, is not only a waste of time, it is a waste of life. And I don't want that for you, so I'm going to basically help you make that decision by doing an illustration. About 25% of you have already taken a class with me, so welcome. And some of you waited an entire semester to take this class with me. Uh, Thank you. But for the rest of you who have absolutely no idea what's going to happen in this class, I'm just going to sort of give you a taste of what's going to happen. I'm about to show you a picture of Donald Trump. Okay, are you ready? Here, this is Donald Trump. Now, if I were to ask you to, I know, yes, it's Donald Trump. All right. So if I were to ask you, describe Donald Trump to me, you probably would say something like Donald Trump is red. And everyone who sees what you're seeing, you'll say, yeah, Donald Trump is red. And you could go through your life saying, yeah, remember Donald Trump? Yeah, he was red. And other people will agree with you. And then when you meet a person like me, for example, let's just say, hey, so Donald Trump is red, right? And I'll say, no, I don't think so. I think Donald Trump is light blue. Now you might say, what's wrong with you? Can't you see what's right there in front of your eyes? I'm like, yeah. And I don't see him as red. I see him as light blue. Now, the way most conversations go these days at this point, once we have this disagreement, it's like, where did you go to school? Did you even go to school? Are you a racist? Basically is kind of the way the conversation goes after that. But no one ever stops to wonder why someone would have such a radically different opinion about a person where all of us are seeing the same person at the same time. Well, if you had gotten to meet me and I told you that Donald Trump is light blue, one could basically try to throw out a lot of facts and say, this is a fact. It's a fact that he's red, we can have that kind of discussion. But really, you're not right. And for the sake of the story, I'm not right either. And the thing is, like, you would see Donald Trump as red, but the thing is, I see Donald Trump as light blue. Now, who's right and who's wrong? Does it even matter? And so, what I'm going to try to get you to understand is that in this class, most of us have already been taught what is right and what is wrong. And depending on your teacher and depending on the perspective, you're either going to see light blue or you're going to see red. Now, if you're stuck on that conversation, you think that this is the most important conversation that you could possibly have, I would say that you're in a box, right? You're in a box, stuck, having a conversation that you were basically taught to have. But I got to tell you honestly, from me not being socialized in the same way as probably the most of you, uh, to me, it doesn't matter if he's red or light blue, because the reason why it's really not that important to me is because whether or not Donald Trump is red or light blue, I still have to put food on the table. I still have to figure out if I'm going to go left or if I'm going to go right. Am I going to go to sleep or am I going to go to work? I still have to make all of these decisions. And whether or not Donald Trump is red or light blue does not help me in making those choices. Okay. So what am I saying? Most people, they go through life and they see things the way they see it. They never challenge it. They never think for a moment that perhaps what they're seeing, they only see because of their perspective. That maybe what is better for us, maybe as an individual, as a family, as a society, might be something entirely different. Now, the challenge, though, is how do we get at that information? How do we get at more information so that I can make possibly different choices, which may be better for us? At this point, a lot of people, the way they seem to be having a discussion, your life, the success and joy in your life is dependent on whether or not Donald Trump is red or light blue. Very interesting, fascinating phenomena, not interested. Okay. Personally, not interested at all. I want to talk about stuff that really helps our lives, improves our lives, makes it better. In other words, how do we get out of this box? A lot of people like to talk about the box, but if you ever think about it, they never tell you what the box looks like. So not only in this class am I going to tell you what the box looks like, at least for the purpose of our discussion, I'm going to explain to you what the box looks like, and so therefore how you get out of the box. Now, I do have to warn you, out of the box thinking sounds dangerous. Out of the box thinking sounds immoral. Out of the box thinking is radical. That's how you know you're out of the box, when no one else agrees with you, when no one else understands even what you're saying, you're out of the box. I mean, think about it. Look at it the other way. If you say something, you think it's radical, but everyone around you says, oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're so in the box that you can't even see the sides of the box yet. Okay. Out of the box is lonely. Out of the box means you're probably going to lose all your friends. Out of the box means it's so new and fresh and different that no one has ever heard of it. And because it is so strange, people are afraid. That's what we're going to talk about. All right. And I'm going to try to push against the sides of your box as hard as I can. So some people might get upset. Some people might enjoy it. But the reality is that a lot of the problems that we perceive as problems are only problems because we're in a box. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. All right. And if you want to go on that adventure, hang out. And if not, then be happy in another class. Now, if you do opt to stay, there are two rules that I want you to abide by. In other words, if you stay in the class, there are two rules that I would ask you to follow. The first rule is there can be no coercion in this class. In other words, coercion is force. So you can't force anyone to do, say, or believe anything that they don't want to do, say, or believe. Everything has to be voluntary. If you want to do something, do it. If you don't want to do something, you don't have to. Okay. So I can't use bullying tactics, intimidation. I can't shout you down. I can't cancel you. I can't do any of these things, nor can any of you do that to each other. Okay. Everything has to be voluntary. Excuse me while I kick this person out of my room. Anyway, first time ever that has happened. Anyway, so no coercion. The second rule is no hypocrisy. Okay, so what is hypocrisy? If you look in the dictionary, they'll have some definition of that says pretending to have morals that they don't actually have. I always wondered about that definition. A far better and simpler definition is simply double standards. A standard for you and a standard for me. It's like when your parents told you, don't ever lie. And if I ever catch you lying, man, you're going to have I'm going to punish you. And so maybe you did get caught lying and you got busted. But then you catch your parent lying to you and you say, hey, you told me not to lie, but here you are lying. What about that? And your parent says, well, there's a reason. Right? So in other words, there's a different standard for you. You had a reason for lying too, but why is it okay for them to lie, people like me to lie, but not you? What's up with that? See, that's a double standard. That's what hypocrisy is, right? You don't have the same standard for everybody. Once you understand that this is what hypocrisy is, then you realize that all injustice, right? The root of all injustice is hypocrisy. And so therefore, people can be hypocritical. But the problem comes in is when the law itself, the rules that are established in our society are themselves hypocritical. You will have injustice in society. In other words, you can do anything you want to try to fight injustice. But really, all you have to do is look at the law. The law is always the source of any kind of injustice in society, whether it's some kind of gender-related issue, race-related issue, it doesn't matter. Anything that is unjust has its roots in the law, okay? And so if you understand hypocrisy, then you understand how to fight injustice. Okay, so those are the two rules that I ask you to abide by. Number one, no coercion. And the second rule is no hypocrisy. So if I can't do it, you can't do it. If you can't do it, I can't do it. If I can't force you to believe in something, you can't force me to believe in something. If I can't force you to say something, you can't force me to say something. Okay, the door always swings both ways. Okay, so if those two rules are cool by you, then we can move forward. The last thing I want to talk about in this welcome video is to introduce myself. One of the things that what I'm going to be teaching you is deconstruction. And part of deconstruction is you have to understand the source of information that you're receiving, right? In other words, who is giving you the information matters as much as the information that you're receiving, okay? And so on that note, I have to tell you about myself. So the first thing you have to know about me is that I have actually two full-time jobs. I work full-time here at Temple University as an assistant professor. Awesome gig, love it. But on the weekends, I am a senior pastor of a very conservative Korean church. Okay, so I am a Jesus freak. Probably even among Jesus freaks, I'm a Jesus freak. Okay, so freaky among Jesus freaks. Okay, and you have to keep that in mind. For some people, it upsets them, it bothers them. They're not going to listen to a Jesus freak give them a lecture. Well, that's fine. So if this is what breaks the deal for you, then good luck. The second thing that you need to know about me is that I am an anarcho-capitalist. What does that mean? I'm an anarchist and I'm a capitalist. Okay, so what is an anarchist? Anarchist comes from anarchy, but a lot of people think that anarchy means chaos, disorder, and far from. That's not what anarchy means at all. An means no, arc means leader, no leader. So society can function perfectly fine with no leader. In fact, an anarchist believes that you, the individual, are your own leader. You are the one who decides what happens or what you do. You choose what to do next. Someone doesn't tell you what to do, right? No, you decide because you are free. You are a free individual. You decide what you're going to do next. That is what anarchy is. And the opposite of chaos results. What you have is spontaneous order. So if you get into anarchy, start studying anarchy, you'll find out that there are two kinds of anarchists. There are the anarcho-communists, which I won't really get into too much. And then there are the anarcho-capitalists. So anarchists who are capitalists believe in spontaneous order, that whatever order arises from people acting freely is the order that is best for society. We'll talk about that more if you decide to stay in the class. What's a capitalist? A capitalist, all that means is, and I prefer actually to use the expression free market, primarily because capitalism, someone once told me, was a term coined by people who hate the free market. Okay, so I prefer to using the expression free market, which is a pure form of capitalism. And what is a free market? You are able to buy and sell whatever it is that you want, as long as you can find someone that is selling or buying what they want, right? So there is no coercion in the free market. Uh, if you don't want to do it, you don't do it. If you don't want to participate, you don't participate. But if you want something, you go to the free market and get what you want, okay? And that's all that is. However, there is one caveat. You must take responsibility for all of the choices that you make. That's what the free market is. And so if you decide to do something, you think it would be an awesome idea, it'd be really fun, but it turns out to be horrible, then you have to take responsibility because you are the one who made the choice. It's nobody else's fault but your own. That is what a free market is. And so in a free market, we can be anarchists. We get to pursue whatever it is that we want. No one can interfere with our lives. And as long as we're not hurting other people, why is it anyone else's business? Okay, so that is at least my something about myself. And if that's okay with you, you're comfortable listening to things out of a anarcho-capitalist's mouth who's also a Jesus freak, then I think we're going to have a good time this semester. I do want to end this video with a reminder that there is a quiz on this welcome video and on the syllabus video. You can thank all the other people who have ever taken my class for this quiz, but it's 5% of your final grade. All the quizzes this semester, and we'll get into it in the syllabus video, is worth 5%. So it should be an easy 5%, right? Details in the next video. So if you decide to stay in this class, well, then I'll see you in the next video. And if you're thinking that it would be better off not taking this class, that's fine too. Good luck. So I'll see most of you probably in the next video.